Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, as we discussed last week, so we went through test design approaches. So starting from what exactly is a test condition. So like I said, test condition is any item or event of a system that you want to test with one or more test cases. So that would be like a feature that you want to test, a transaction, a function that you want to test. Example is like a login page or registration activities or posting or searching. Yeah, those are your test conditions because they are the test features that you want to test. So those are what we call test conditions. So, and I said a test condition could be verified by one or more test cases. What are test cases? So those are a set of input values that you supply to your application, or after you supply it also you're expecting some results or a execution post conditions. So, and those are your test cases. So you supply an input and your system is in a state which is called execution precondition. You expect to get a result. And you also expect to leave your application in a condition which is called a post condition. So all these values are what you put in your test cases. So yeah. So it's basically how to get your system from a starting point of your testing to the end point of the testing. So it's kind of the end-to-end testing. So what are the steps that you need to pass through? What are the things that you need to pass into your applications, and what are the expected results that are required? So those are your test cases. So also we talk about the process, which is the procedure, the test procedure. Can if you don't have a quiet place to receive this call, I think can you just mute, please? Sorry, 1 minute. I would appreciate if it's I think okay. All right, let's continue actually. So that's what we discussed last week. So and also we discussed about the test coverage, which I don't need to cover again. So and so 1 minute. Also, we discussed two test techniques or test approaches, so which is equivalent partitioning and also boundary value analysis. So to be honest, I just want us to look into them in great details to see when do you use it and how do you use it. Then after that, we go into test management. So, and I think there was a discussion around that time yesterday, so last week, to see how do we use equivalent partitioning. So like we understand, like I said last week, so equivalent partition is basically partitioning your test into two different partitions. So, and it's mostly used with numbers, I would say, mostly used with numbers. So, but however, you can partition anything, integers into infinite numbers, or you can have negative or positive testing, and also you can have valid and invalid testing. So, but depending on how you partition your systems or your test cases, which is your input and also your output data. So you could partition them into two different test cases. So like when you are running your testing and you have an application that accepts number from 1 to 1000, so you don't just supply any number from 1 to 1000. That is you testing only the valid parts. You also need to test the invalid parts also. So which is you putting or entering number which is greater than 1000. So and so one question that I asked last week is like, if you have a number that accepts 1 to 10, what are the valid partition that you need to? What are the valid partition that you need to supply? So, and also what are the test cases that you need to supply? For an informal tester, so you say, oh, I can put 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 8 or 7. So you don't, even if you do that, you are doing the same testing. So you, in time of equivalent partitioning, you only need one number from the valid partition, and you need another number from the invalid partition. So which is you put in maybe 5 and also put in 11. So for an application that accepts 1 to 10. So that's what you need to do. So so the session that I intend to do today, that part intend to do will be more fun than, because it's going to be basically practical. So I'll quickly do something. So I'll write an example of what you should do. So let's hope this works. So if you have an Excel file, you have something like that. You have your serial number. You have your actions. Expected and actual. Yeah, something like that is what you have in the standard test cases. You have your serial number, which is 1, 2, 3, and your actions. So, and your expected result and actual results. So, for instance, let's say number 1, go to home. So, what's your expected results? Let's say home page displayed. This is not working. Okay, home page is displayed. Then so when you write that number 2, click on sign in. So this is just a quick example. Maybe I should use it in Excel anyway. So the first one is like, okay, you want to, let's quickly go to, so if you, let's quickly go to Excel anyway. This is not good. I'm trying to. Okay. All right. So sorry guys. So this is kind of your serial number, action, expected behavior, actual behavior, then results. So okay, let's assume we are testing this particular website. They've given you this site to test. So and you get a job, and your job is to manually test this website. So you look at each of these links here. You could classify them into your test conditions. You want to test the home page. You want to search for freebies. You want to test the community wish list and everything. So that's what you classify into your test conditions. So first example will be, now this is my test condition. My first test condition is home. So maybe I'll test condition. So set condition 2 is, let's say, post. Test condition 3 is registration. Test condition 4 login. So these are different things I want to, or features I want to test on this particular page. So can everyone see the Chrome? Let me see what I'm showing. Chrome, okay. All right, cool. So yeah, so now you could, let's start from registration, because that's the first thing that you want to test. So when you want to register, so you go into your test script. So this is what is called now your test script, which is also called test procedure, right? So in each of the one, you have your test cases. So now your first test case is in terms of registration. You have your serial number, which is just number. Then, okay, I'll just copy that. So test case 1, or some people can say 3.1, or if you value any numbering, that's fine. So your action, go to www.giverate.com. So what's your expected actual, you put your, that's your action, your expected behavior. What's your actual? So like I said, when you are writing your test script, the first thing you need, three columns that you want to fill is your serial number, action, and expected behavior. Your actual need to be filled when you are running the scripts, because first thing you do is preparation. So that's what we call, because last week I discussed about this, that when you are writing your when you are testing, there's different process to follow. One of those processes, you do your test planning. So at this point, you are doing your test planning, which is you are writing your test script. You are making sure you follow the right test design and also the right approach. So, and you don't just go and execute your tests at that particular time. So the next one, after you do that, go to Giverate. So 3.2, then click on registration. Registration link. Your registration page is displayed. Then 3.3. So
has started.
Okay, so this is what you put in there for your test cases. So, and then after that, when you've written this, you also write your, let's say this is 4.1. So, which is going to be a similar one. Then 4.2. Click on the plugin link. Okay, so now this is where I'll focus on this, actually on this too. So maybe I would ask you to write this as assignment, the test condition for the home and the test condition for the post ad. So if you could do that on your own, that would be good. So, but if you have any issues or any problems, so please get in touch. So now these are the two that we're going to do today. So in time of writing your test cases, so the first test condition that we want to write, normally I should put this test condition 1 and test condition 2, but you're okay to readjust that actually. So okay, in this test condition, I want to register a new user. So for me to do that, I go to GiveRate. So now, if you fire up the application, so if you fire up the application, you click on register. So you have the said go to giverate.com. So that is that. So click on registration link. So that is the link. Then enter all the required fields. So you need to enter all these fields, all this field, all this field. So it's okay to upload checking. So this is the thing. Some people will go low level to put, okay, enter user first name, enter last name, enter email address, enter password. So it's okay to also put that one depending on what is being favored in your industry or in your company. So like I'm saying, you could do something like enter first name and say first name is entered successfully. So, and you could do the enter last name, same thing, enter password. So on and on like that, so that you follow up what every field that is required, enter password, enter confirm password, then check on the captcha, then coming back to this, click on this is not okay. So that should be sign up link or button. So then after that, then you confirm that that user is successful. So this is what you write. So after you've written that, you come on page and you try to run your script manually as the script tells you to do that. So you go to the home page, click on register, fill in your details, everything that you want. So fill in email, fill in password, confirm password, and check that and click on link. So now this is the techniques that you want to use, and then as you are putting that, you're going to say expected behavior. So your actual behavior, when you go to the keyfree.com, what did you see? Web page is displayed as expected. So when you click on the link, what happened as expected, or you could also say registration page is displayed as expected, So you can put those details in as you are going. Then also when you click on sign up page, sign up link, what do you see? Said you should confirm that the form is successfully submitted, and you can verify or validate that the user is successfully registered. So then when you click on that, it should give you the username and everything. So then you can say as expected also. So that's you done on that one. So having said that, that is one. I can now increase the coverage of this test and say this is 3A. Registration for correct. Create another one for incorrect password or incorrect emails. So okay, so now test condition 3B. So I want to do invalid details. So I'll still go to this link, and that is the what I'm looking for. So like I said, now I'm doing that. So click on registration link, that's still the same. Enter all required field. So in this point, I might not say enter all required field. I might say enter. So if I So I just want to follow this step one after the other. So removing the ambiguity. So now the first thing I said, go to the website, click on registration, enter first name, enter last name, enter password. So at this point I can say do not enter, do not fill in the confirm password. So, and then check the captcha. So, last name. So now what is my expected result when I click on it? So the form is not submitted. So that's what you're expected to see. So, and you could go on from there and also create another 3C test, which is so 3C, which is also incorrect details also, which is enter, we can say enter password. So then enter a different password in the confirm password. Then incorrect confirm password is entered. So when you click on the sign in button, what do you expect? The form is not submitted, and error message is also displayed. Error message, you can specify about password not same is displayed. So that's, you can say that's you using equivalent partitioning in this regard, because you are trying to use your test cases, design test cases based on valid and invalid details also in this case. So now let's go to the login page. Okay. So the same way for the login page, you go to the web page, click on the login, enter username and password, so and sign in. So you can also have the invalid one also. So import. But instead of this, you can say enter invalid, enter username and invalid password. So I can say correct username. So for the user is not logged in, and error message is displayed. So that's what you would do. So then, as you have all these URL, you go through each one of them, all this feature to test, community, you write your test cases based on that. Can everyone see the web page? Okay. All right. So this is the site actually. So think that. Okay. So this is the site. So when you now start, you go through your step one after the other. You put your actual behavior, which is the behavior that you see in there. So if you put all the behaviors, and then also your result will be whether pass or fail based on what you see in there. So if you fail, then you have a bug. So what you now need to do is to raise a bug. So now raise a bug or defect. So once you raise a defect, which is to show that the system that you are testing does not behave as your script say it should behave, or is different from what the specs say. So you now have to write your bug. This is what you need to say. Okay, what exactly is the step to create a bug? So what you put in your bug. Number one is the step. So you put the step, which could be similar to what you've written in your test script, to say, oh, these are the steps I follow, and which also include your expected results, including your test data and expected results. Better results. So you need to put those in your bug, and also if there's any screenshots, you add screenshots. If there's any log or log files that will be useful, log files. So most industry also you have priority and severity. So you don't need to worry about yourself on priority and severity. In some cases, it's going to be at the prerogative of the project manager or the scrum master or even the team to assign priority or severity. So, but I think also you might need to know what are the priority or what are the severity. So severity in the sense that some people use high, medium, low, and in that regard. So severity high or critical or block. So let's assume block. When you say is blocked, means that I cannot even continue testing. So that means you are blocked. So you can't continue your testing at all. So and also it could also mean critical. Okay. Critical. So critical mean that this is to be fixed. So, and also you can have high, medium, and low. Low are basically very low customized cosmetic issues that maybe doesn't align very well, it doesn't look good, or you put that in low. So medium, it's basically it's not that kind of high. We can live with it, but we still need to know that it's not working. So you are in some roles, it's the tester that has to assign the severity of the application of the bug. So you need to do that. So yeah. So I guess that is basically, I'll just do a quick recap, then I'll open the floor to questions. So so in this case, we've only used two techniques actually. So maybe the next week I will look about how to use the second technique, which is boundary value analysis. So which is also very good. So in this one, we've been able to use equivalent partitioning. So to divide our test into two parts. So valid and invalid. So we've used registration and also we use the login. So and we've been able to write our manual test case. So this is using Excel. So I think maybe if part of myself, we're going to use different tool. So like NTM or so. Initially was what part wanted to cover, or yeah, she had technical issue logging in. So yeah, I had to step in for her today. So yeah, that is that. So let's, if you have any questions so on that. So I will quickly, I'll go through the life cycle of the bug. So when you raise the bug, it goes back into the backlog. So maybe later we talk about agile. It goes back into the backlog. So then also it's fixed. So once it's fixed, it comes back to you to retest. So this is a thing, you don't just retest it. So for instance, let's say I test this application and I use this test script. And I went to login page and I said, oh, login page. And for me to go to the login page, I need to go to the website, and that is okay. And I also go to the, click on the login, that seems to be fine. But when I supply the that is fine. But on login, I was not able to log in. So maybe then I'll put my expected not able to log in. So that is failed. So I raised a bug on that to say, oh, I'm not able to log in, even though I've supplied the correct username and password. So the users, the developer, so now goes and try to fix it. So once it's been fixed, so for instance, in that regard, I can say it's blocked in terms of my severity, because for me to test other parts, I'm not able to test other parts. If I cannot log in, I'm not able to test like post or other things, because I can't test other area because login is broken. Or if I'm able to test other things like registration, which is not, or I'm able to do the home page registration, I can put it on critical. It's not stopping me from testing, but it's so critical that it needs to be fixed because you cannot go live with it. So I put it in the critical. So then once it's fixed by developer, so it comes back to the keyword to retest. So I say retest because you need to go back again and go to the web page, click on the link and enter username and password, then try to, then you click on the sign in button again. So if you're able now to log in, you change your script again to okay, or you put your, and that is okay. So that is that. So that means your test is now passed. So, but however, what you've done is retesting. So, but we know that in some cases, when developer fix these things, they can also break other things. So, for instance, they fixed the login page, but they broke the registration page is now broken. So you don't only test the login page, you test other particular pages, other pages that are related to the login, so to be sure that nothing is broken. So that is what is called regression testing. Regression testing is basically testing things that are passing before, or things that are working before after a fix is done, to be sure that they have not regressed, so to say, so to be sure that okay, they are still working. So you still do a regression testing. So even though you do your retesting or validation, so you also do the regression testing to be sure everything's still fine. So that is that. So that is that. So now maybe before next week, if you can try to write test cases for the home page, also write test cases for the post ad, which is that one. Yeah. So, and if you can write test cases for the other one, so that should be fine, because when we go to the automation, it's going to help you, because everything in this manual test cases is what you would need to automate. So that's why point of having to go through this manual testing. So if you don't know how to write this manual test script, you're going to struggle in the automation part. So that's that. So any question? So any question?